Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, LaMalfa, Leno, Ted Lieu, Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Runner, Semidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Wyland, Yee.
All the absent members. Soon. Soon, one of these days. All senators, please report to the Senate floor. Please report to the Senate floor for today's session. understand the chair's got, the president's got some introductions too, doesn't he? Pro Tem?
That's fine.
Yeah, why don't you start? Yeah, why don't you start?
We'll just
She wants to start and I'll come back.
I'll do up to your introduction.
Yes. Okay. There's several.
Yeah, I know.
Canella will pray.
I was told folks in that we find out what's going on.
Okay. I can have Katrina ask.
All righty. Did we? Oh, we have a quorum. Okay. A quorum is present, members. Would you please stand, members, and would our guests and visitors behind the railing and in the gallery please stand as well. We'll be led in prayer today by our Senate Chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfie, and then we'll be led in the pledge by Senator Price.
Good afternoon. O loving and merciful God, we turn to you for guidance on how to live our lives with honor and integrity. In Deuteronomy, your servant Moses instructs us that we should love you with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. You teach us that the way that we can best show you our love is by treating each other with kindness, with justice, and with compassion. But this is not always easy to do. So we turn to you to make our hearts sensitive to the needs of others, to help us see the spark of holiness in the souls of our fellow human beings, and to always remind us that our might should be used to create a better world for us and for those who come after us. And when we do these things, we make manifest your love in our world. May this be God's will. Amen.
Monday, yes. Members, we'll go to privileges of the floor. Senator Canella at Senator Steinberg's desk. Senator Canella.
Yes, thank you, Madam President and members. Please join me in welcoming these 6 Ukrainian delegates and their interpreter from the United Nations Open World Program. They're led by Mr. Paul Keene, Division Dean of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Education at San Joaquin Delta College. The delegation is composed of business professionals and locally elected community officials here to observe our democratic government at both the state and local levels. Members, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our honored guests from the Ukraine.
Thank you, Senator Canella. And welcome to our guests from the Ukraine. Welcome to the California State Senate. Senator Fuller, for what purpose?
I'd like to introduce some members of the gallery.
Please proceed.
Members, I would like to introduce my campfire group from 2nd grade, if they'll all please stand. It's appropriate that they're here on kind of Girl Scouts week coming up because we didn't have Girl Scouts, we had campfire. And I'd like to welcome today Suzanne Franz, Cheryl Colleen, Kathy Inns, Sharon Fisk, Judy Brown, Leslie Rakamidi, and Colleen Deltz. And
welcome to you all from
Senator
Fuller.
Thank you for saying hi to all of them.
Senator Correa. We are at privileges of the floor.
Under motions, resolution purposes of announcement.
We'll go there now. Go ahead.
Yes.
Just wanted
Madam President and members, just wanted to remind everybody, as a formal Cal Grant recipient, I wanted to remind everybody to remind your constituents that the deadline to apply for the financial aid or the FAFSA is March 2nd. It's a great way to pay for your college education. Again, please, reminder, March 2nd is the deadline for the application.
Thank you, Senator Correa. Members will go again to privileges of the floor. Senator Woke is at Senator Steinberg's desk. Senator Woke.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, members. And Madam President, it's truly
Senator
my
Woke,
honor.
one moment, please. Members, Senator Woke has the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. It is truly my honor to recognize the recipients of the 2012 James Irvine Foundation Leadership Awards. These awards recognize extraordinary Californians who are putting in place solutions to some of the key challenges that we face: access to quality and cost-effective health care, educating our young people, creating job opportunities, and maintaining the promise of sustainable agriculture. Each year, the James Irvine Foundation selects 4 to 6 individuals out of hundreds, in this case 300 or so nominees, who are implementing innovative and effective solutions to critical state issues. I'm pleased to recognize them here on the Senate floor, and I want to tell you a bit about each one. First of all, from my district, Craig McNamara from the Center for Land-Based Learning in Winters and Solano County. On hundreds of farms and ranches throughout California, McNamara is introducing a new generation to agriculture by providing hands-on training to aspiring farmers and thousands of school-age students. Secondly, from Senator Leno's district, Patricia Dennehy from Glide Health Services in San Francisco. As health agencies grapple with how to provide care to millions of uninsured Californians, Dennehy is leading a nurse-managed health center that serves as a model for delivering high-quality, cost-effective care to a low-income population. Also from Senator Leno's district is Carolyn Laub from the Gay Straight Alliance Network. At a time when tens of thousands of California students are being bullied because of their sexual orientation and gender identity, Laub empowers youth with the leadership skills that they need to create safe campus environments. Krista Gannon, who is from Senator Corbett's district, from Fresh Lifelines for Youth, she is reducing juvenile crime and saving taxpayer dollars through an innovative program that every year leads hundreds of at-risk, incarcerated, and formerly incarcerated youth back into school and toward a positive future. And lastly, Alice Simmons, Youth Uprising from Oakland, Senator Hancock's district. In the heart of one of the most hard-pressed urban areas, Simmons directs a comprehensive youth transformation center, providing thousands of youth each year with leadership training, job services, and educational support. These are extraordinarily successful programs and leaders. I urge you to go to the Irvine Foundation website, and you can read about them in depth, www.irvine.org. You can see videos. You can see what kinds of effective work they are doing. And on behalf of all of my colleagues, I want to congratulate all of you and thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Woke. Senator Woke, thank you for your words, and to the awardees from the James Irvine Foundation, congratulations on your efforts on behalf of California. Thank you, Senator Woke. Members, we will continue our privileges of the floor and take up Senator Price for his introduction. Senator Price.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'd like to present a sports hero and real patriot, John Carlos. We're here now. John Carlos and Tommy Smith's black-gloved raised fist salute on the 1968 Olympic podium was seen around the world and sparked a great deal of political and public controversy. Carlos won the bronze medal in the 200 meters race in the 1968 Summer Olympics. During the medal award ceremony, both athletes wore black socks and no shoes on the podium to protest African-American poverty in the United States. Their show of defiance remains one of the most iconic images of Olympic history and the Black Power movement. Carlos tells his remarkable story in his new book, The John Carlos Story, The Sports Moment That Changed the World, written with Dave Zurin and forwarded by Cornel West. John Carlos has never stopped running the race for social justice, and we are privileged to honor this Olympian and great American. Carlos is a founding member of the Olympic Project for Human Rights. After the 68 Olympics, he went on to equal the world record in the 100-yard dash and beat the 200 meters world record. After his track career, he enjoyed brief stints in the National Football League and the Canadian Football League, but retired due to an injury. He became involved with the United States Olympic Committee and helped to organize the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. He later became a track coach at a high school in Palm Springs, where he now resides. He was inducted into the USA Track and Field Hall of Fame in 2003 and the African American Ethnic Sports Hall of Fame in 2004. Members, please join me in welcoming John Carlos.
John Carlos, welcome to the California State Senate. Senator Wright.
I wanted to add a thing. I've known John, as some of you may know, for a long time. Once upon a time, I used to could run, but that was actually quite a time ago. But there's a side story to John and Tommy's victory in Mexico City. And it's actually a sad story. The gentleman who took second in the race, now John messed up because when they were at the top of the turn, John looked to his right and Peter Norman was on the inside and he went by John and John got a bronze instead of a second. Now they were supposed to go 1-2, but John messed that up. But that's not really the story that I wanted to tell. The story was the gentleman from Australia who took second, Peter Norman, was ostracized when he went home because many of his countrymen said, "How dare you stand on the victory stand with those individuals while they were doing a protest?" And he was actually held in part responsible for participating in a protest at the Olympic Games. When he passed away in Australia, poor and penniless, it was Tommy Smith and John Carlos who were pallbearers at his funeral, where his own countrymen had ostracized him for standing on the victory stand. When you look at that poster, you'll see that there are two representatives from the United States. But the gentleman who got the silver medal, Peter Norman from Australia, was never given quite the same victory celebration that he should have received when he returned home to Australia. And I've always commented to John, who I've known for a long time, that I thought it was an honorable thing that both he and Tommy went back to Australia to participate in the burial of their friend. So I just wanted to add my voice to say that John is actually a pretty good guy. And other than that, though, I was also teasing him because, I'm not even going to bring that up because he...
Senator Wright, Mr. Carlos is giving me the international sign that you're running out of time.
Okay, the other thing, there's a book signing tonight that's going to be at the California Museum.
Okay.
But I would add another point of the 68 team is that typically the Olympic teams are honored by the President of the United States. The 68 U.S. Olympic team was one of the only U.S. Olympic teams that was never recognized by the President of the United States.
Thank you, Senator Wright. And John Carlos, thank you for being here today. Members, Are there any other privileges of the floor, members? Any privileges of the floor? Seeing none, we're going to move to messages from the governor. They'll be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committees will be deemed read, and those amendments adopted. And we are at motions and resolutions. Motions and resolutions, and pursuant to Senate Rule 2910, the following bill is referred to the Rules Committee. Item 1, AB 1275. All righty, thank you. And then without objection, the following bills with floor amendments will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Item number A23, bill number AB 246 by Kehoe. Without objection, okay. Members will go to introductions of first reading of bills. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1057 by Senator Huff, 1058 by Senator Liu, 1059 by Senator Huff, 1060 by Senator Hancock, 1061 by Senator Walters.
The bills are read. Consideration of the daily file. We're taking up on second reading file item 1. Is that? Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 1275 by Assemblymember Torres, an act relating to public records.
Members, we're returning to motions and resolutions. If there are any adjournments in memory of any Californians, please say so now. Any adjournments in memory? Seeing none, Senator Steinberg, then Senator Steinberg, there's no other business before the House. The desk is clear.
Thank you, Madam President. There is a letter to the Journal that has been cleared by both sides relating to Mike Valine's appointment to the Central Valley Flood Protection Board, again approved by both sides. I guess I'd urge an aye vote on accepting the... Do we need an aye vote? No, without objection. Without
objection, Senator
Excellent.
Steinberg.
All right, members, session itself will reconvene at 9 on Friday, excuse me. I know there's a Budget Committee hearing on Thursday, and thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. The Senate will remain in session. Okay. Till 3:30, and then we'll adjourn. Thank you, members.